I mean, art could be really useful. Like, I mean, it could have both a use and not a use. Like, it could just be something pretty on the wall. Like a lot of people just drive down the highway and there's billboards and it's all art, but it doesn't register the same way as, like, if you take a total stranger on the street and show them the Mona Lisa painting, like, it triggers them differently. They think, oh my God, that's valuable. It's the rare thing. Like, and I don't know. It's kind of wild how some, like, if art as an application for advertising versus art for the ideas it provides, or art for just the aesthetic, just for design. And
do you find there to be a purity that is lost when you get into things like advertising? You know, obviously graphic design is art. Like, super talented people, you know, create these things that you just on mailers that you just throw away. Do you think there's sort of a purity lost when you commercialize art, or is it just not? It doesn't. I mean, it is what it is. You know.
I mean, I think it is what it is. I mean, graphic designers, like, yeah. You could totally see even in my own paintings which ones I actually really cared about when I made them, and which ones I either did it because I had to, or I like forced myself to do it when I didn't really feel like it. And I think graphic designers, and there's a ton of crazy talented people that are producing things that just get thrown away and on mailers and stuff, but I'd imagine that they do too have like burner work, like they're just doing a quick thing just to get a job done, versus when they put like a creative passion and try to communicate ideas through what they're doing. I don't really see there as any like degradation of value for that. I mean, at the end of the day, we all need to make money, so.
Yeah, and it's, you know, honestly, I'd rather live in a world that has art in it, even in the form of advertising, over just.
I mean, it'd be cool if you could put like more wild advertising instead of going to like the lowest common denominator.
Right, everything's like a solid color, 3-color block logo now, yeah, right? Like you used to have more.
Imagine we could do like wild billboards that were like done by creative artists, people that, like, to communicate messages, not just the commercial side of it. It'd be
right.
Imagine a world like that.
I often think that like we've lost a lot of like our artistic flourish as just a culture. If you look back at, you know, even like this hotel that we're in, which we'll talk about, you know, like, you know, you go to old hotels, you go to buildings that were built a long time ago, especially in New York and Victorian era, like you go to press the elevator button and there's a metal wrought iron flourished, you know, somebody made like, but we used to care about that. Like it used to be like just a given, I think, like that it would be nice. Even the stuff we consider high end now is like, it's just cold and square.
I don't know, I kind of like though, especially with like architecture and being inside of a space. Like I prefer like cold and flat than ornate, and like I think it gives a different impression and you get like a different feeling from being in a space that's designed to be like very minimal versus designed to have all flourishes and stuff. But I guess then it depends, like if you're talking about like cookie cutter factory structures in art versus art that is intentionally simple. I mean, in architecture, like architecture is an art.
Yeah.
Any interview questions for me?
How do you like New Haven?
It's cool. It's kind of wild. Like, it's like its own little mini city that I don't know. The downtown is weird because there's so many like college kids and like gentrification all in one spot. And then like a mile in any direction, it's not nearly as nice. And so it's kind of wild. But I think in general, it's super cool being surrounded by all the architecture that like 24/7, which is wild. I don't even know if you can see like over there. Isn't that crazy? This is actually the Yale School of Architecture, which if you ask me is kind of like you said with that sterile stuff. I think it's really cool though, actually. I like the modern stuff. There's a weird contrast. There's so much like modern architecture here, and then like early American Gothic weird things. Like look, it's like we're just walking up to a castle right now, just right outside the studio, and then I'm gonna go in there and watch Lord of the Rings or something.